Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Veeryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Bharyantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Bolo Swami Sadguru Shivananda Maharaj Ki Jai. Om Bolo Swami Vishnu Devananda Maharaj Ki Jai. Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Namah Shivaya. I offer my pranams to the lotus feet of our masters. I pray, Masters, give us all the perfect understanding. It's Swami who speaks through us. It's Swami who listens through all of us. Hari Om Tat Sat. Chapter 5, Slokam number 12. Yukta karma phalam tyaktva shantimapnoti naishtikim ayukta kamakarena phale sakto nibhadyate. Yogis, they have to work in who is a karma yogi. Completely the work itself must give the joy, not the result. The karma yogi, when he does the work, then while doing the work itself, he must feel the joy at the work. The result is only the bonus. The work itself should give this satisfaction and joy and the happiness and everything. Yukta karma palam tyaktva shanti mapnoti. Karma yogi tyaktva, karma palam tyaktva. Whatever the work that he does, the result he just renounce. Tyaktva means renounce, living, not attaching to the result. When he does that, shanti mapnoti, he attains shanti, he attains the peace. While performing the action, when a yogi is a seeker. When he performs an action, when he gets a deep sense of joy, peace and happiness, not waiting for the result to give that happiness, then that is a sign that he is into the karma yoga path. And what does that give? That gives the purity of mind. It helps the seeker, it helps the yogi to remain peaceful all the time. Even if the result is not good, even while performing the action, unexpected disturbances and everything comes with peace, without disturbance, without restlessness. If a seeker is able to handle the situation, then he is in the karma yoga path. If every little thing keeps disturbing, and for everything, if a person keeps complaining, then that means still that person is not into the karma yoga. Lot of impurities are there in his mind. Ayuktaha, he is called ayuktaha. Yuktaha means a yogi who is doing the action in the karma yoga path. Ayuktaha, non-karma yogi. What does this happen to him? This person all the time, he dedicates his action to his ahankar, mamatvam, to fulfill his ego. Even when he do a puja, he calls everybody. He wants to perform a grand puja. Okay, it is for God. Yes. He is doing puja, getting all the fragrant filled flowers with a lot of money. He invested, meaning he gives money and he buys lot of flowers, make a big garland, nice garland, everything. He invited everybody, nice prasad, everything. But what is that he is doing for? To fulfill his ego. While doing that puja, while putting the flowers also, he always wants people to watch. How is he doing the puja? And he wants people to say that I have done the best puja in the society. So to gain that, if he is doing the puja, even though he says that he is doing it for the God, it is for, he is dedicating that to his ahankar. He is called ayuktaha, non-karma yogi. Ayuktaha, who works for his own needs. Saktaha, sakto, attached to his own actions. Yuktaha is a karma yogi. He does everything as a worship to God. Ayuktaha kamakarena phale sakto nibadyate. What is a compelling force for this non-karma yogi to do all these actions? Desire. To fulfill his own self-desires. That is a motivating factor for him to do all these actions. He might be doing the Tirtha Yatra. He'll be going and visiting all the holy places, taking a dip in the river. Everything he will take a photo. He will show it to people. What is that for? To fulfill his own self-desires. That is all just actions. It is not karma yoga. We need to be careful when doing actions. You need to be a yukta to get into the as a worship to God. Every action, total surrender to the God without attaching any results. Hey Arjuna, do you want to become a karma yogi? Then follow this path and become peaceful, and that path will take you to the knowledge path. These are on two different ways. They are in the same road. That will take you this. Otherwise, you will remain like a non-karma yogi, get into this restlessness all the time with disturbed mind, with deep sorrow, no peace. You choose what is that you want. If you want to become a karma yogi, offer that everything to me, fight, surrender to me. I will do the fight. I will do the through you I will fight. So in slokam number 10, slokam number 11 and 12, Bhagavan Krishna explains Arjuna to follow the karma yoga path, and he tells that karma yoga path will guide him and will purify his mind. When the mind is purified, he turns his mind towards the knowledge path, and then to meditation and the realization. All of them are in the same road, same path. Slokam number 13. Sarva karmani manasa sanyasyaste sukham vashi navadvare pure dehi naiva kurvanna karayan. Sarva karmani manasa sanyasyaste. Renouncing that you are the doer. As long as you have the doership, you will get into all these disturbed mind. Renouncing the sense of doership in all your actions. Whatever the action that you perform, if you are renouncing the attachment to that action, then it leads you to the karma yoga path. All the actions are happening according to the prakriti, to the law of nature. So you have to just be free from that sense of doership, freeing yourself from I am doing the action. These actions are born out of me. This all gets into this ahamkar. So naiva kinchit karomiti, not even a bit I am doing. I am not the doer. He is the doer. Completely surrendering to him. What is that case? Stay sukham vasi. That person who is completely surrendering, that person remains ever in happiness, in supreme peace. Vashi means he is self-controlled and he remains in peace. Navadvare pure dehi. Where does he live? The Upanishad says Navadvare, this in this physical body of yogi, of a seeker, that is considered to be a city. In this city, who are all the citizens? The mind, senses, intellect, they are all the citizens in this city. In this city, when you consider this physical body as a city, in the city there are 9 main gates. Navadvare pure dehi. Nava means 9. There are 9 dwarams, 9 main gates. Where are they? 7 of them are in the face. 2 of them are in the apertures on the trunk. 7 gates on the face is to the eyes, ears, nostril, mouth. there are 7. The other 2 gates, they are the organ of excretion and the organ of generation. These are all called 9 gates in our physical body. Without these 9 dwarams, 9 gates, majority of them, the life with this body is almost close to impossible. So in this body, the citizens are the mind, senses and intellect. They are all the citizens. Who is the king? When you have a city, when you have citizens, you need a king, right? Who is the king? The king is that Atma, the supreme, the king who rules the kingdom, who rules this body, which is a city. Through the ministers, he is giving encouragement to all of them, and the Atma who is not doing anything. The king doesn't do anything here. The Atma remains in the self and stays there calm and quiet, not affected by any of the activities. All the activities in the city is happening. The Atma delegates all the work. The mind and intellect that is doing what work it is doing the job of thinking. It delegates. The mind and intellect are doing the job of thinking. The senses, the interactions with the world, outside world and worldly objects. The senses do the interaction. Everything happens according to the swabhav, according to the law of nature. The Atma is a non-doer. It lies in the self, calm and quiet. So an ignorant person is one who doesn't understand this and who think this body and mind as a doer and attaching to it, and he identifies himself with this body and mind, and he becomes ignorant and he remains as ignorant. A realized person is one who understands that I am different from this body and mind. All the actions are happening with this body and mind. I am residing in this body. As Ramana Maharishi says, shining deep within. A realized person who is residing in this body. There are 2 terminologies. The Upanishads use these terminologies. Jivan Mukta, Videha Mukta. The realized person who is residing in this body is Jivan Mukta. When they stop residing in this body, when they leave this body, they become Videha Mukta. So Jivan Mukta, as long as when you remain in this body, thinking that, realizing the fact that everything Jivan Eva Mukta, inside, residing inside, and all this, our body is doing all the actions, body and mind is all doing all the actions. They are still alive but completely free. When the body drops off all this, when the karmas are over, then they get into Videha Mukta. So realized master is one who becomes complete witness to this body and mind. All the actions will happen, but he will remain as a Sakshi Bhav. He will remain as a witness. I am not this body and I am not this mind. I am that pure consciousness. Such an individual continues to be unaffected, unattached, no disturbances, nothing. He remains in peace all the time. But however, he does all the actions. That is all required. Navadvare pure dehi naiva kurvanna karayan. Not even doing any work. It just neither does any work nor prompt to do any work, propel someone to do any work. So this Atma neither act nor does cause any action. Just Atma doesn't speak, keep calm and quiet all the time. So it is Satmaru, completely the pure consciousness. Atma is that pure consciousness. The one who is realizing that is a Jivan Mukta. The realized master is completely seated in this body. They have an asana. They just completely sit in this body. How he is seated? Completely Sukham Vashi. Vashi means self-control. With self-control completely Sukham, happily he is sitting. He is neither doing nor making anyone do anything. Slokam number 14. न कर्तृत्वं न कर्माणि लोकस्य सृजति प्रभुः न कर्मफलं संयोगं स्वभावस्तु प्रवर्तते न कर्तृत्वं न कर्माणि lokasya srujati prabhu. Prabhu means God. That Atma is called Prabhu, the God who resides in you. Prabhu na kartrutvam. He does not create any sense of doership. Na karmani. Nor does he make anybody perform any action. Lokasya srujati Prabhu. Prabhu, he is not making anybody do anything. Na karma pala samyogam. Nor does he give any result of the action, the papam, the punyam, the fruit of the actions, nothing. He is not giving. The Atma, the Prabhu, the God, the omnipresent, he is not responsible for any of this papam or punyam. He is not doing anything. Swabhavastu pravartate. How does all these action happen? According to the swabhavam, according to the law of nature, it is happening. Like how this in the computer, when we do some programming, the result is happening. But when you plug in the electricity, the computer starts operating. That doesn't mean the electricity is a doer of all this. The same way, the actions that you do is getting the result. The electricity in itself is completely static. It is static energy. The moment you plug in and do the actions, then the static energy gets converted into dynamic energy. The self, the Atman, functions through the matter, through the conditioning. The electricity remains the same. How do you condition it? Do you condition it to come through the tube light? It is coming through the tube light and giving the name and form. Whatever that you have programmed, it just reflects. If it is directed through the reading lamp, it is doing that. Whatever the color and shape that you give, it is happening. But the electricity remains constant. It is static. But when it is plugged and programmed to give some effect, it is giving that effect. How does that happen? According to the swabhavam, whatever the nature that you have made, with the law of nature, whatever that you have done, it is reflecting in that form. So Atma does not enjoy the fruit of action. It is the performer, the one who performs, who enjoys the fruit of action, and that is for their ego, and it is not for their Atma. So Bhagavan says everything that is happening is according to the nature. According to the nature only everything is happening. All the matter, everything according to the Prakriti, the gunas, it is happening. Whatever that we see in the world, it is happening according to the law of nature. I am not the doer. Slokam number 15. Nadat te kasyachit papam na chaiva sukritam vibhuhu ajnanena vritam jnanam tena muhyanti jantavaha. In the previous sloka, we've said God as Prabhu. In this sloka, it is Vibhuhu. Vibhuhu is omnipresent God, all pervading. Bhagavan says that Vibhuhu, it does not take any papam or any punyam. Nadatte kasyachit papam. Whatever that adatte means accepts. Whatever the sin, papam, the Atma, the Prabhu, the Vibhuhu does not take it. Nachaiva sukrutam Vibhuhu. Sukrutam means good. If some punyam is happening also, he does not take. Bhagavan says, Nadatte kasyachit papam nachaiva sukrutam Vibhuhu. That God does not accept anyone's papam or anyone's punyam. The Atma is neither enjoying the papam or punyam. He is not the doer of any action, and he does not enjoy the fruit of any actions. So the Atma is neither a doer nor the initiator of any action, nor does it receives any action. So what about the living entities? Ajnanena vritam jnanam tena muhyanti jantavaha. Ajnanam, your ignorance, which is Avutam, which is covered. Your knowledge is covered. So you are ignorant. You are thinking. It is not that you don't have knowledge. The knowledge is covered. You have a faulty knowledge. You are attaching yourself to this body and mind, thinking I am the doer, and this ahankar keeps going up. I am this, I am that, I am the boss, I am the driver, I am doer. All these are, you are attaching to that body, mind and intellect with thus faulty knowledge, ajnanam, with the various notions that you have about yourself. Based on these notions, you perform the action, identifying yourself with this body and mind. That misunderstanding, that ajnanam, tena muhyanti jantavaha, that is overpowering in the ignorant people. That is why people, normal people, ordinary people are ignorant. They are not getting into this wiser. They are always getting attached to this body, mind and intellect, and they remain in deep sorrow, all the time complaining that they are not happy. Why? Because their knowledge is covered by this ignorance. Slokam number 16. Jnanena tu tada jnanam yesham nashitam atmanaha tesham aditya vajnanam prakashayati tatparam. Jnanena tu tatagyanam yesham nashitam atmanaha. By this wrong notion, by this faulty understanding, by this misunderstanding, by this ajnanam, you are getting attached to this, all this body, mind and intellect, and you are doing all the actions and you are in deep sorrow. How this can be eliminated? This can be eliminated or this can be destroyed only by the right understanding, only by the right knowledge. How do we get the right knowledge? By scriptures, by getting to the right teacher who has realized the truth. Okay, like how we can compare this? In a dark room, if you want to search something in a dark room, you need a light. To bring light to the dark room, if you are doing any other activity, that is not going to bring the light in that room. Suppose you are cleaning the room. Does cleaning the room bring light to that room? You are bringing some flowers and keeping it in the corner. Will that bring light to that room? No, they all will remain as mere activity. What do you have to do? You have to bring the right knowledge. You need to bring the light there so that you get the darkness is eliminated. The same way, if this ignorance, this misunderstanding, this faulty understanding, this ajnanam have to be destroyed by the right knowledge, and that right knowledge comes through all this process. First getting into the karma yoga, okay, surrendering everything to God, that will lead you to jnana path. Getting to the knowledge, that's knowledge you have to acquire from the right teacher who has experience, by reading scriptures, by attending satsang. Purify your mind, get into this learning. That learning will help you into mananam, and that will get into meditation and realization. Go through this process step by step and remove this ajnanam. That knowledge which is gained from the wise person should be from the proper scriptures, not from anybody else. And once you get that knowledge, contemplate on that knowledge. That will remove this ignorant. As long as you remain ignorant, you will be in deep sorrow, because you are not realizing that Brahma who is shining in your heart. To understand that, you need the knowledge. Example in the Vedanta, there is one nice example. All of us will know about this example also. The rope and the snake. There are two people in the room. The person who is seeing a rope, he is seeing the rope as a snake, because the room is little dark. So he is screaming because he sees that snake is moving. He is screaming, snake, snake, snake. The other person standing next to him, he says, no, no, that is not snake, that is rope. Why? Because the other person he only kept that rope. So he knows for sure that is rope. This person says, no, 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 I'm seeing snake. He's screaming. So what is the other person doing? He's bringing the light and showing it. That is not a snake, that is a rope. As long as he's seeing that a snake, he will be all the time in fear, all the time in unhappy. And how does that be removed? Only when you get that knowledge, the right knowledge from the right teacher. When you get that knowledge, these things will disappear. Similarly, all these confusions in us will be removed by the scriptures. The technique is completely said in the scriptures. All this delusion, this confusion will be removed. Jnanena tu tatadjnanam esham nashitam atmanaha tesham aditya yavajnanam prakashayati tatparam. Like in the evening, in the night, when you want to search something, we cannot find. But when the sun comes, when he gives the light, we can see everything clearly. The same way, when this jnanam comes, we can see everything clearly, and the Brahma who is shining deep in us, we can realize this and live in peaceful state. So, Master gives one more example for us to understand this little more better. Suppose you are sleeping, you have a dream. You are in a forest, walking in the forest happily. Because you like nature, so you are enjoying the walking. While walking, you see a tiger coming in front. The moment the tiger comes in front, the fear comes in you, because the vasanas, you know what the tiger will do. You're screaming tiger, and the tiger bounds upon you. When the tiger bounds upon you, suddenly you wake up from the dream. When you suddenly wake up from the dream, what happens? There is nothing. There is no forest. There is no tiger. Nothing is there. So who woke you up? The tiger woke you up. But still, when you wake up, everything disappeared. All these are your faulty understanding. All these are your ignorance. The same way, when the scriptures, through a proper teacher, when you get that knowledge, then all these ignorance will disappear from you. So Master gives a good example, meaning beautiful example for us all to understand. Once you are awake, all these ignorance disappear, and you see the Brahman who is shining deep in you. So Karma Yoga, get into the path of Karma Yoga, Arjuna. When you get into this path of Karma Yoga, that help you to purify your mind. While getting purification of the mind, get into the scriptures, listening to the discourses, Itihasam, Puranam and everything, and that gives you the knowledge. Once you get that knowledge, when you get that understanding, that Shravanam happens, that when that Shravanam happens, you contemplate on that knowledge, that Mananam, that will make your mind more and more pure, which in turn will lead you to meditation and realization. So these Karma Yoga techniques are clearly explained in our in the Bagavad Gita. There is a separate chapter. All these techniques, if we follow, that is the best path. So Bhagavan Krishna says, hey Arjuna, follow the Karma Yoga path, because you are not yet ready for Karma Sannyasi. Get into this Karma Yoga path, renounce all the attachment towards the actions. Get non-attached to the result. Do not think about the result. Get into the action. The action itself should give you the joy and peace. Completely surrender. I will fight through you. With this sloka, we'll end today's session. Keeping our back straight, we'll chant Om 3 times together. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Bolo Swami Sadguru Shivananda Maharaj Ki Jai. Om Bolo Swami Vishnu Devananda Maharaj Ki Jai. Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Namah Shivaya. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Thanks for joining. Have a wonderful evening. See you tomorrow at 4 o'clock.